Michael Buble, thank you so much for dropping by the House of Wellness. We are so thrilled to have this time here with you today. I have heard that you actually wanted to be a famous singer from the age of 2, which is very ambitious and very advanced for a 2-year-old. So is that actually the case?
I don't think I was 2, but I had definitely at a very young age, I would have been about 3 or 4 probably, when I would articulate to my mother that this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a singer, yeah. And it's weird because it disturbed her because I was so adamant about it that years later she would always say, I always found it very strange that you were so sure about this.
Do you think that the voice came first, or that you were so adamant that you wanted to be a singer that then you trained yourself into it? Like, which kind of came first for you?
Yeah, to be fair, I think that I wanted to be a singer, but I also wanted to be a fire truck. And but music was always really special to me. And I mean, it's funny, like people will ask many times how I fell in love with the Great American Songbook and Dean Martin and Sinatra and all those guys. And really, the truth is, a lot of it came from the Bing Crosby record playing in our house at Christmas. And that was my introduction to jazz music and to the musicianship and the arrangements. And it was something that I loved, and I loved the artists. And so I would go and find all of my favorite artists. My grandfather, who I was so close to, would play me all these great songs. And almost by osmosis, I would take them in and I would start to steal and copy and impersonate. And when I did that for so many years, I started to find me and my voice and who I was. And hard work and ambition met a ton of luck, and a ton of people who really went out of their way to help me, and for nothing in return, just because they loved me and believed in me. So it's been a very weird, very wild ride.
Did you ever waver away from this dream? And you said your parents were a little bit surprised that you wanted to be a singer. Did you ever get pressured or feel pulled towards other career paths, or was it always this?
I think when I turned about 26, 27, I had worked in the nightclubs from about 16 years old, 17. And I had worked for a little more than 10 years, and it wasn't happening. I mean, the agencies and the record companies weren't interested. They would say the same thing. You're a really talented kid, but there's no way we can make money from this. So I was going to go back to school to become a journalist. You know, my kids love music. They love it, love it. It's a huge part of their life the same way it was mine. And I can see it happening. And I keep telling them that the real win is that when you find something that you love to create, whether that's, you know, acting or writing or making a dress or whatever you do, that is such a beautiful gift, because that romance will never leave you. I mean, girls will leave you, business partners might leave you. Romance that you find between yourself and creating something that brings you that kind of fulfillment, that never goes away.
I think that definitely shines through, and perhaps that is actually why so many people have found Buble songs to be such a special part of their life. But I also know, because we're all about health and wellness here, that singers actually have to take really good care of their nodules and their voices, and it's not something, I think we take it for granted that you can just sing, you know, like that. But how do you take care of yourself? Has your throat or have your vocal cords ever kind of failed you, and how do you make sure that your health and wellness is tip-top?
Well, not smoking and drinking is pretty good. Pretty good tip. And something that it took me well into my mid-30s to understand. I wasn't a machine, and I really was so lazy and so careless that I didn't take care of the. And now I'm like, really, no joke, I'm an athlete. Like I work out hard every day. I'm careful about, you know, on off days I don't do a lot of yelling and screaming, and I'm pretty careful. But you know, I think more than anything, I think your mental well-being is the number one thing. You really have to be so strong in keeping yourself within an environment of positivity. And by the way, we have all learned in this last few years how fragile our mentality is, how fragile our mental health is.
Yeah.
The power of music is huge. I think the power of prayer is huge. I think the power of now having an opportunity to be together. I mean, listen, I think we have to find a place of empathy to just bring a little light into each other's lives.
Absolutely. And I've definitely turned back to those smaller rituals each day. And I think one thing that's been really empowering has been going back to just spraying a little bit of perfume on before I leave the house after so long of not being able to do so. And of course, my husband and I are not just fans of Michael Buble, the performer, but also of Michael Buble, the fragrance connoisseur. So
Wow.
I've got him onto your amazing first men's range, Michael Buble Pour Homme. But for me, it is, of course, the incredible women's range, starting with By Invitation. But then my latest favourite is this beautiful rose gold. I have dressed to match the occasion. What has it been like to create a perfume, and how do you capture an aroma?
I really enjoyed it. It was really fulfilling for me as a musician to realize how in step creating a fragrance was with music. So when my manager said, listen, you can go with a chemist, you can go with the perfumers. And so I literally went and I spent days with my white lab coat, taking different notes, just like you would as a musician, as a singer, and taking all these notes and trying to find the right harmony. I love the fact that these fragrances empower people and give them, women and men, a chance to just feel a little bit better.
Oh, absolutely. And I think something else that's really wonderful about the entire range is also that it does represent that we silo ourselves very much into I'm a singer, I'm a lawyer, I'm a banker. But I think if, the last few years have shown us anything, it's that you can be anyone. You can change your mind, you can try new things, you can get out of your comfort zone and become a perfumer, whenever you want. So as we all embark on a new chapter, can you just finish by giving us a little bit of advice on starting something new?
I would say you and I are on the same wavelength, and I think it's such a great positive mind frame to have. And I think even as a parent, I would say the biggest mistake we make as moms and dads and friends is when people say, I want to do this, and they say, there's no money in it. Well, because number one, money isn't the end all and be all, but number two, everything can be monetized, everything. And especially when you have passion and true belief. And so don't ever close somebody off. Let them have their dream and try to help them achieve it. And I have a feeling that many of the times they may just really surprise you. And more than that, you probably allow someone to really shine and for their light to be really bright. And we need more of it in the world. We need more happy people right now. It's a cynical world. So I think we can help each other out a lot by changing our environment that way.